Episode 152, Cyrus Naderpour. Cyrus Naderpour is a comedian and now an influencer. He also used to co-produce one of the most successful shows in LA before it folded. We talk the journey and finding our place in all of it. Please welcome to the show, Cyrus Naderpour. What's up, everybody? If you're in Edinburgh, I am at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. My show runs from August 6th through 30th. My show is called Anti-Fascist Pasta Night. It's a political comedy show. It talks about the fascism going on in the United States and looks at it through the lens of the fascism of the past. We talk about fascism in Italy, also some misconceptions about being Italian-American. It's a really fun show. August 6th through 30th, Westport Oracle. You can find information at my website, ronplacone.com. And it's free, by the way. It's part of the free Fringe. So just show up. My show's at 3:45 p.m. each day. That's August 6th through 30th. If you're at Edinburgh, come say hello. Also, if you're not in Edinburgh, or even if you are and want to watch a movie, my movie Left at Wall is out now. You can get it for free on Tubi and YouTube. You can get it YouTube free with ads now. So just watch it right on YouTube. Just watch it for free. It's on a bunch of platforms, but you can get it free on Tubi or YouTube. Check it out. It's a wonderful anti-capitalist comedy about family. All right, enjoy today's episode. Cyrus Naderpour, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. How are you?
Oh man, every day is just another dream, you know?
I love the dichotomy of our setups. Like what's going on? Like I have like a white background. It's
right.
It's very yin and yang, honestly. It's very
you know,
opposite vibes here. I'm liking it.
I had mixed feelings when I decided to go black curtain. It does help with auditions and stuff like that, but it also is one of those things like, oh, I could never wear a black shirt. And as an aging punk rocker, black shirts are about 60% of my wardrobe. Yeah. So, yeah, at times I question this choice and may switch it up at some point. But yeah, for right now, I'm doing the black curtain thing behind me. For better or worse.
You're having your own show. You can change it up whenever you want to.
Just change it up whenever you want to. And just, you know, I mean, people will let you know if they like something else better. And you're just like, well, sorry, I don't know. This is what was on sale.
Yeah. Yeah. The internet lets you know real quick.
Totally.
Let you know real quick.
Of course. So I always like to start at the beginning. So where are you from?
So it's my dad's Persian. Like he's from Iran. My mom is Polish. I was actually born in Rome. My parents were political refugees at the time.
Whoa.
My dad, this is pretty topical. My mom escaped communism, and then my dad actually insulted a member of the Revolutionary Guard.
Whoa.
He
okay.
He was a journalist originally, and it was Persia at the time. It was under the Shah. So he was living in the U.S., but he wasn't on top of his paperwork. So he let his like visa and stuff expire. It was kind of very irresponsible for him. He had there was no reason for him. He was working. There was no reason for him to let his stuff expire. So he let his stuff expire. And when they did when the revolution happened and they took the hostages, they deported everyone in the U.S. who didn't have their paperwork in order. So my dad got deported back to Iran, and my dad really much hated the regime at the time. And he met a guy from his high school at like basically like a 7-Eleven, like a convenience mart, and he insulted Khomeini to that guy. And the guy was a member of the IRGC. When he insulted this guy, he got red, stormed out, and then the cashier at the counter was like, "Hey man, that guy's IRGC. You gotta go." And my dad booked out the country, and he hasn't been back since. So,
wow. Okay. Yeah. And so that they wound up in Rome. Do you speak Italian?
No, I came to the U.S. when I was 2. So
okay, all right.
My dad, they met, they had me, and then they came to the U.S. when I was 2. So and when they came to the U.S., they were on the immigrant, like, hey, we escaped 2 horrible situations. We're American now. Don't worry about learning other languages, which I think was a mistake they should have taught me. But you know how it is. They have their own.
Of course.
There's a lot of baggage with their homeland, so they're just like, we're just starting fresh.
No. I hear you. That's wild, though, man. Well, wait, did you? So I don't know exactly how. I know a little bit of how it works over there because I was actually trying to get my Italian citizenship back when I used to qualify, which is a story we don't need to get into. But did they did you have any kind of Italian citizenship because you were born there, or
no?
Okay.
I mean, Italy, it's like you got to be Italian. I mean, now well, now it was probably back to being that. But yeah, with them, it would be, I looked into it. I would have to have been stateless at the time. I would have a better chance getting a Polish citizenship through my mom because she's of Polish descent than Italian one. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. You got to really be like, you can, if you're Italian, right?
Well, yeah, they changed the law recently. I qualified until March of last year. They just changed the law, and they're still going back and forth about the constitutionality of it. Like, there's another hearing coming up, but I kind of was just sort of defeated and deflated after 4 years of gathering paperwork, and then they changed the law. So
Italian bureaucracy is also a nightmare. Like, they're not working.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Like really bad.
It's a lot unless you're over there. Like when you're trying to do it, with the consulates in the U.S. and stuff like that, it's just a huge bureaucratic headache, a lot of back and forth. If you're actually over there in a municipality that just kind of has it going on, well, then, it's great because you just show up. But unfortunately, I just wasn't able to pull that off. Not in time, at least. So that was fun. All right. So you were born in Rome. You come to the U.S. when you were 2. So you probably have no memories of Rome. Where in the U.S. did your family settle after their wild adventures in the world?
I grew up in Montgomery County, Maryland, in Rockville, right outside D.C. So I grew up in kind of like the D.C. suburbs. That's like D.C. For those the DMV. It's like D.C., Maryland, Virginia, like Northern Virginia. Montgomery County, Maryland, like the area outside DC and like Virginia and Maryland was kind of like the DC suburbs. And I grew up out there. So
was your dad's journalistic background the reason why you guys were in the Capitol, or like what went into that decision?
No, we had an uncle. My uncle lived in DC, lived in this area at the time. So we kind of knew people here. So we moved down there. My dad actually, it's funny. He kind of, when we first got here, he had a job at one of the, I think it was one like the U.S. global papers. Mm-hmm. But then it was like the pay was really bad. And then he found a job like selling used cars. And I was like, well, you got a free car if you work here. And then he was like, well, I need a car. So he just started selling used cars. And then he was just really good at it. He just started making like money, started making good money doing that. So he ended up selling cars. He was really good at it. It was pretty interesting. It was funny. I went a couple times. Like he brought me to his work, and it's like the salesman of the month. He had plaques and plaques and plaques like by his little office where there was just salesman of the month, salesman of the month, salesman of the month. It was like kind of insane.
What do you think made him so good at selling cars? Just like, was he into cars?
No, he didn't know anything about cars. I think that he would, people would ask him technical car questions. He's like, honestly, you probably know more than me, but if you like this car, you're interested, you can take it to a mechanic. He can tell you more than I can. Take it to your mechanic. I think what he says, there's too many people. Sometimes they focus so much on like the technical stuff. You don't focus on selling stuff. So he was just good at. I think it was out of a need. Yeah, out of a need, he had a knack for something, and necessity demanded him to be good at it. So he just figured it out.
I mean, that's like a case study, man. Like the excellent car salesman who knew nothing about cars. He's like, look, man, it rooms and it gets you where you need to go. What more do you need?
The thing is, like, exactly. And I think also, like, you learn about cars over time, right? Sure. And it's kind of also like in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, right?
Right.
So you just need to know slightly more than the person. And if someone really knows a lot and you're just like, yeah, man, I you know more than me, you would probably trust that guy more than a guy who's kind of going to bullshit you, right?
Right. Yeah. That's interesting, man. Well, so what was growing up in that area like for you? Like what were some of your early interests as a kid? What eventually led you to the creative space?
Yeah, creative was random. Like, I mean, I think I grew up in it's immigrant household. It's like, you're going to do well in school. Like, doing well in school is like there's no, like, you get a B and people are pissed.
It was that intense.
Oh yeah. I remember I made a video about this yesterday, and then my dad was like, well, it wasn't that intense at our home. Like, you got a B. I was happy, but I would have rather you had gotten an A. And I was like, I think you're proving me right, Dad. And he just started laughing. He was like, I think you're proving me correct. So it was that, and then like the arts was not really on my radar. It was like you're going to go to college. Like there was no option. Like you're going to go find a way to go to college, and then you go to college. You're studying business or you're studying engineering or something. Like that was the path. And I mean, I had an accounting degree. I did accounting for a while. I quit that job. I moved to LA. I got into digital advertising. I was like running ad campaigns and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I hurt my shoulder snowboarding.
But no, when was this?
I was like probably 26-ish, 40 now. So this was
adulthood.
Yeah. I was just like a home bored, you're just at home. You're just like, you got your shoulders fucked up. So you're taking you got pain pills. And then I'm just smoking some weed too. Cause I didn't want to really take the pills really. So I'm just watching all these comics stand up. I'm like, I could do this. I can do stand up. I didn't look that hard. I can totally do this. I told a couple of my friends, I think I want to try stand up. Like, maybe you should take a class. And I was like, I don't need to take a class. That's for losers. And then I Googled classes when I got home, and I saw a class where at the end of the class you have a showcase at the Laugh Factory, and I was like, I'm just going to do this so I could perform at the Laugh Factory at the end of my show, at the end of my class. So I signed up for that class, and then which was actually I got lucky. A lot of these classes are scams. It's really bad.
Yeah, I mean, every comic has a million opinions on comedy classes, right? And my thing is, I don't know, my personal take, and please weigh in. I think that if somebody was asking me for my honest take, like somebody who was a friend or something who wants to get into comedy, and they asked me, I would say, look, my personal take is if you aren't able to show up to an open mic, sign up and give it a go otherwise, a class might be for you. Yeah. But if you can, I don't know what you would get in a class that you wouldn't get just from going to open mics, learning, trying, failing, writing, and asking questions. But everybody's different. What works for one person might not work for another. But, would just be that's my observation,
I would say, I think you're right. I mean, the beauty of comedy is there's no right or wrong way to do it.
Right.
That's the beauty of it. I would say with classes, I think there's two types of class. To me, the scam classes are here's the system of how to be funny. That. Yeah. Those are scams. That's a waste of your money. I was lucky. I mean, I think this class was pretty good. It was the first half was theory, more or less. He would have a joke. What was the setup? What was the punchline?
Sure.
They would have the economy of words, general theory of how to be funny. And then the second half was pretty much an open mic where you would perform and they would give you feedback. I thought it was good. I probably would have quit comedy if I just went to an open mic once and probably failed miserably, most likely, especially the LA open mics are just nightmares. A lot of them. Now they're better with the badge, the signups. They're a little better.
The pre-advanced slotted stuff.
Yeah, now I think they're a little better. Like Tribal Cafe that we would go to, that's a nightmare.
Oh, I love that place though.
I did love it too.
It was a beautiful train wreck.
Yeah,
and the food. I loved the sandwiches.
They did actually have really good food.
They had really good sandwiches, man. And I would just sort of ignore that B health rating that they had. I would just be like, la 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 la. I don't know.
But for your first time in a disinterested room where the juice machine's going off mid-set, it's not and at that time I had a job and stuff, so I had other stuff going on in my life. So if you just imagine eating it that hard at an open mic when you were doing well, I think I would have given up. I'd be like, oh, this is insane.
Sure.
I do this.
Well, so wait, were you in LA already then when the snow injury happened? So how'd you get to LA then?
Oh yeah, so I went to school at University of Maryland, and then I got a job I was in Baltimore. I was an accountant. I had an accounting degree. I was working at a public accounting firm. I was taking the CPA test, and mid-test, it's if you bought a car for $5,000 and there's $4,000 of depreciation, you sold it for $5,500. What is the car? And I was like, bro, by the time I finished the sentence, I don't give a fuck. Book how you want to fucking book it. I don't give a fuck. Why do you ask? I was mad because I asked these questions fucking 5 times in school, and now they got to ask it again. I was like, I don't want to fucking I don't want to do this shit all over again. And at that point, I was like, Cyrus, maybe accounting isn't for you. Maybe this isn't really your calling.
This is making you miserable.
Yeah. And then I had some friends from college that were living in LA. I visited them out here, and I really liked it out here. And then I wanted to get into like more tech stuff at the time. So I just quit my job and I moved out to LA. And then I ran like digital advertising campaigns for like a large actually I worked at AOL. So I worked at AOL. AOL owned like this ad, at that time, like dial-up was dying, but they owned this ad network. And the ad network is basically like, it's basically like a stock exchange for ad space. Like if you have like a website and you have like a space for like a banner ad, basically they put up a bunch of ad inventory and a bunch of advertisers bid, and like the highest bidder wins the ad space. So I was like running campaigns. There's a lot of like, you gotta kind of know how to set the campaigns up to run effectively. So I was running ad campaigns for a while. Then I got into ad sales before I quit it all.
So what was it like, especially coming from the immigrant family, being, hey, I'm moving across the country?
I was very nervous about telling my parents that. But they honestly, I was very nervous, but they were actually my dad was like surprisingly okay with it. He was just like, it's like, you know what? You got to do what you got to do. If you got to go, you got to go. Yeah, he drove with me.
You already got a couple B's, so you're screwed. So
you're fucked, man. So he's like, you gotta go. Yeah, no, he was actually supportive. We drove across country, like a road trip. We drove across the country together when we moved out here. So he was actually surprisingly cool with it. When I quit for comedy, that was dicier. But
yeah,
at that point, they were
conversation like.
That was rough. I mean, they kind of figured it out. Like, I think I didn't tell them, and then I think they just found a video of me doing stand up online, and they're like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?" And my stand was pretty. I mean, new comedy is always kind of vulgar, even to now. I think my stand up's kind of a bit blue. So I think they were like, "What the fuck is this? You have a job? What are you doing?"
Well, they were blue in their critique of you.
Yeah. It's fine to be, internally it's fine to be blue, right? Externally, you got to get it together. But yeah, I think it was very. I mean, I didn't really show my parents any of that side of me. So I think it was a lot for them to take in. They weren't very happy about it, and they viewed it as like a waste of time. And I mean, objectively, it is a bad career choice. Like, this is really from like if you take out like you love doing it, it's a passion for you. Entertainment is one of the worst career decisions you can possibly make.
Oh, absolutely. It's freaking brutal. It's one of the only thing though is everything's so volatile now.
Yeah.
You're almost not missing out on that much. Yeah, like there's like one or two stable things. Everything else is just completely volatile. Yeah. I mean, I finished my master's degree and I was doing more and more road work as a comic. And I kind of had to make the call, like, do I really want to try this full time, or do I want to go on and get my PhD and just have this be sort of like a hobby / part-time passion, whatever.
Yeah.
And I decided not to go on for my PhD. And I remember when I told my parents that, they had this like look on their face, like it's like your sports team just blew a big play in the fourth quarter. That was like the expression on their face. Like there was just this sort of, but I feel like I was kind of fair in my assessment where I was just like, look, the academy doesn't care how old I am or what I look like. Show business does. Yeah. So while I'm young, I want to take a shot at this now. And if it doesn't work out, I can always go back. But it's like now it's like
you can't go back, really,
Well, there's nothing to go back to. There's really nothing to go back to. And so in some ways that's like, oh, wow. But in other ways, it's like, well, I could have made the other choice about, trying to do something I was way less into just for security. And then there wouldn't be any security there anyway. It would be just as volatile. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It is a terrible decision. But now everything else has become so terrible that it's not so terrible anymore.
Yeah, I would say now. I would say if I stayed doing what I was doing, I would have probably been very well off financially. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
The time is still, I would say today, who knows what's going on, but even who knows if entertainment's going to exist with AI and everything. So the whole thing is like a mess and no one knows where anything's going to go.
Where do you think it's going to go? Do you think it's going to, are we done?
I don't know. I don't know if we're done. I think human-led entertainment will always have a demand. I don't know what it's going to look like. I mean, I think it's inescapable to have there's going to be AI blended in with. It's either going to liberate creators to make whatever they want, and I think Hollywood as an industry is screwed. I mean, that's for sure.
Do you think it's done? Do you think it's not coming back?
I think it's going to. I just think once it becomes, I mean, what value do they provide, right? Because once you can make a video, a movie of the caliber of like a decent Hollywood film for 30, 50 grand, you can get distribution through the internet. Like what value, what does the studio provide of value in that chain? Like, I don't really. Before it was like they give you the budget, they give you the studio, they give you the tech equipment, the distribution. That's where the big thing was, distribution for them. But what do you need? You can reach everyone on the internet now. So it's like, what if I don't need your studio really? If I can through AI, I can do all the special effects, and I can run out of space. I can figure out all these other things. Like, what is the studio there for? Other than put their bad notes in and come up the works.
Sure.
With all their stuff. Like what value they provide in the
well,
chain?
they still have the ability to like make something rise above the rest. I mean, they still like all the biggest blockbuster things on, TV, film, etc. Like it's all still
for now.
So it's like that is still the case, like, but it diminishes more and more
every day. It diminishes.
Year.
Every day. I mean, you think about like who is really the biggest entertainer for like Mr. Beast, probably. If you think about like who tunes into a show every week the most, it's probably his show. I don't foresee them creating something that's going to usurp that in a big way.
No, I don't either. And even like Netflix is now getting into podcast, which is sort of like, I mean, it's basically a way of saying like, hey, it doesn't, it really doesn't matter anymore. We're just like, we're just platforms at this point, and it's it is getting wild. I think that. Well, do you think that Los Angeles as the entertainment capital, do you think that is going away?
I think it's possible. I think if it goes away, if it goes away, I don't think it goes away. I think what will kill it for LA is not so much Hollywood dying. I think it's cost of living becoming unlivable. I think that's what will kill it. If LA, I think if they found a way, if they just let people build a bunch of housing and like find a way to make it affordable, and you can be like live on a waiter's salary at a somewhat comfortable job, kind of a comfortable lifestyle, living as like a waiter or like a simple job like that, I think it could stay. But I think that's what's really killing entertainment, is that the fact that like you kind of have to be rich to pursue the arts now. Like I was able, like I saved a bunch of money and I quit my day job. I had a very high paying job and I saved money and I quit my job. And I pursued the arts. And since then I did all kinds of things. I went bankrupt and now I have a job again. But like the days of like, I can just be a simple job and they're gone. You know it. The people who were pursuing arts, a lot of it's trust fund kids, people who are paying.
Oh, these days, big time. Yeah.
And they make bad art. That's part of the reason why art sucks. Like these people are bad at art.
Yeah.
Like people who have like more working class backgrounds, people who have like good life experience, they make better art. Like when it becomes a plaything for like these rich kids that's when art, that's part of the reason why art sucks. It's become a plaything for nepotism and rich kids. When it's good, when the regular people can make art, that's when it's good.
I mean, you feel the shift that, we mentioned comedy open mics, like as the years have gone by, more and more, like you show up to work on some new material and you see these young comics, and certainly not all of them, but a large proportionate, it's all like, yeah, so I grew up kind of rich, and yeah, it's all like, it's all that. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? And it's like what you're saying. I realized real quick, I'm like, oh wait, no one else can afford to be here. Yeah, that's what's happening.
It's hard. Like, it's hard to afford. I've been just fortunate. I've been able to cobble stuff together, and I've had friends that I've been able to get jobs that are decent paying, but allow me the flexibility to do it. But this is not the normal. I've been lucky. I've made some good decisions when I was younger that I had some valuable skills that I've been able to leverage. But most people don't have. Like, if you just go straight from school to like being a waiter to act, it's tough. It's not like the 70s when it's like an apartment's $200 in rent for a month. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you, man. And I think that, because you and I are the same age, I think we are like millennials and specifically like, the older end of millennial, we're kind of the last generation that was able to pull it off, or you could just kind of have, and we didn't have, Gen X had it easier than we did. The boomers had it easier than Gen X did. Yeah. But we were the last generation that could kind of, sort of, if you think outside the box, pull off the so-called American dream that we were all fed. And, if you have big ambitions for show business, you can kind of show up to LA with just a little bit and figure it out. I think that's like next to impossible now. And unless you have, you're at least breaking a bunch of housing rules with the amount of roommates you got, at least. Yeah. I feel bad for people who are straight actors, or like I have friends who are filmmakers. It's like they don't even make movies really anymore. It's like, it's tough to like, to me, it's like I think the showbiz fame is now the internet fame, and you can really do internet fame from anywhere. So like I think it's gonna, I don't know. I don't want to say Hollywood's going to die. Things you rarely ever die. They morph and they change. So I don't want to say Hollywood's going to die, but I unless it becomes easy to live here, I think that the grip that Hollywood has on entertainment will loosen. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think in many ways it already has. And people, a lot of people entertain the idea that it's temporary. I don't think it is. Oh, it's not temporary. Yeah, I think so too. And I think that there's still this huge creative class here. But like you said, it's getting harder and harder to live. So more and more people are just going, screw this, man. This isn't worth it. Like this is. And I mentioned this in, I did one of those end of year posts like people do. I got sucked in like everyone else. And I mentioned, I feel like this is really, like, because I feel like it's not fair to count like the lockdown years and stuff like that. Yeah, this is kind of the first year, at least in as long as I've been in LA, where for the first time, what it offers doesn't really match the cost, and certainly doesn't really match the ego. Yeah. So you're kind of having this what the fuck moment, which is a bummer for me, because I love my neighborhood, and I love I love. Out of everywhere I've lived in the United States, I got my complaints about everywhere, because I got a lot of complaints with the country in general. But LA's my favorite by far. So I'd like to, I really want a good reason to stick around. I feel you. I really like it out here. This LA has lots of faults, but last night I went to I was hanging out, I had a couple of drinks with my friends. We had like a soju bar, and then I got like these like Chinese skewers over, like, it's like this Chinese skewer place where they had these skewers over open like barbecue flame at the table. It's kind of like a Korean barbecue style thing, but for Chinese skewers. Like, man, it's like, I can't, if I leave LA, I can't just go to a skewer place and get like fucking Chinese skewers. It's these little things, like you can do like any type of food, all these things. Like you can't just, how many cities in the U.S. have access to this? It's like, it's not that many. Maybe there's like one place, or it's like, it's stuff like, but LA, it's like, it's everywhere. Any type of food you want is like 10-20 minute drive to get it. It's like, I'll miss that if I can't have that. Yeah, no, I feel you, man. Well, so let's get into comedy and specifically what you've done. You've worked with another guest on this show, Tuesday Thomas. Yeah. So how did you all start working together? I started. So yeah, it was fun. It was interesting. I met Tuesday actually at actually Tribal Cafe the first time I met her. It's where the magic's made. Tribal. Magic's made. Yeah. Never in the Silver Lake neighborhood. Tribal. It's still there. Yeah. I think so. Okay, good. I think so. I was hoping it stood the test of time and made it through. Yeah. Because I haven't been since before 2020. So. Yeah. Same. It really trauma bonded everybody together. That juice machine. Interrupting your set. Oh, the juice. Like,
It's like, what's the deal? It's like,
but then on any random weekday, Maria Bamford might show up.
That's true.
I mean, it was really really a magical, tragic thing.
Yeah. It had its peak. I remember like when alt comedy was popping, it was like really big. And then afterwards it kind of like tapered off a little bit. I was still going when it tapered off.
Yeah.
There was a couple nights I went in there and it was just like a lot of people who like just were like pains in the ass. It was like a full room. I was doing material I know worked kind of, and I was just like going through the motions. I just need to get some like reps in. And like, they were just like staring at me like I had 3 eyes in my fucking head. And I was like, fuck you. I walked out there. I was like, fuck these guys. I know this shit fucking works. You're being a fucking dickhead.
We know that's a callback and we recognize it, but we didn't come up with it. So fuck you.
Yeah.
We're gonna sit here cross-armed, looking over our shoulder, wondering if someone important is walking in.
Yeah, it really pissed me off. But anyways, I stayed there, going there for a long time. But I met her there initially. I remember she was really trying hard to make the mic work. And I was like, I appreciate your effort, but this is not going to be a good one. There's nothing you can do to make this like a mic that's going to be good. And then I met her there, and then I did like the Eagle Rock Comedy Festival. I'm sure you've done that one at some point.
No, I didn't know that was a thing. They did a whole
ran it.
No, I've never done. I mean, I've been to Tao before, but I've never done her festival.
I think it was before it was Riot Girls. I think it was the original iteration of it.
Oh, okay. That might have. Wait, so what years are we talking? Because I might not have been.
Might have been. It was probably before he came out. I remember this was probably 2013, 2014.
Okay, so that was a little bit before I got to town then. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Maybe 2015, 16, somewhere around then.
Okay.
And then I met her there. I remember there was like some people in the back that were like talking, and she like yelled at them until they left. I was like, oh, this person's pretty cool. We just kind of stayed friends, and we just kind of kept in touch. And then she started doing a show. You ever do the Clown House? Remember, it was like outside downtown LA. Adam Barnhart.
I heard amazing things, and I never got there. Yeah, that was one of those on my short list that I never got to.
Yeah, for the people who don't know, it was like this. It was like a shop front converted to like a comedy studio, and it was just wall to wall clown memorabilia. There's like thousands of clown things in the thing. Like, it was insane. And she was running a show there, like a variety show. I think she was running. I think she started Freak Show. She did like 1 or 2, and then I was doing sketches and doing some stand up with her. And then after a couple of shows, like, "Do you want to just help run it?" And so I just helped her run it. And we started in the Clown House, and then we moved it to the California Institute for Abnormal Arts, which shut down now. This was in North Hollywood, that was a cool venue. It was like part Audie's Museum. They had like a clown, mummy clown. They had all these kind of weird artifacts and random stuff, and they had like this performance space. So we were doing shows there. The guy running it was absolutely insane. Like, he was like full on lizard people, which in hindsight, well, maybe he wasn't insane, but he was insane and happened to believe these things as well, which I think actually a fair amount of the things he believed turned out to be true, but he was also legitimately insane. So he was running this show, and then, I remember the show. The show was about to die. Like, they were like, "Hey man, if you can't fill the next show, we're going to shut down your show." Mm-hmm. And then we brought this clown. So Freak Show was like this like dark, weird stand-up variety show. It was stand-up comedy, characters, musical comedy, sideshow acts like sword swallowers, fire eaters, that type of stuff. So it was kind of like a wild mix of a little bit of everything on that show. My friend Tuesday would host it, and then I would shut it down. And I would close out. Which is a great way to develop your talent as a comic, having to go last after like people. There was like insane drag acts, burlesque, and like a guy eating fire. Like, you got to really, like,
you got to bring it. You got to tie really it all together with a bow. Yeah. That was a great way to get like I think your chops. So we were there. It was about to get shut down. We invited this clown mime who was a roller derby referee, and he was like his first time performing. It was Bazoo the Clown. That was his name. It was his first time performing in like 10 years. So I think he was this like roller derby umpire. So he shared with his friends. His friends shared that thing. And that like Facebook event went like viral. Normally we had like 10 people say they're going. That event, we had like 1,000 people in the event. It was like pretty crazy. Wow.
So we sold out that night, and the show was saved. And interestingly, the next show we set up, it was kind of failing again. So I was like, well, let me run some ads. Like, so it's back to like my ad career. It's like, well, let me run some ads on Facebook. Maybe we can artificially make this thing move through advertising. And it worked. And that was kind of for the next, like, I think almost 6 years we ran that show. And Facebook ads we took it to like, we would do the improvs all up and down California. We were in Phoenix. We had a kind of summer residency in Vegas with it as well. So it was a long run, all thanks to Facebook ads. So.
Oh, wow. So that was what made it pop for y'all. And was it like a monthly thing and then a touring thing? Was that kind of the anatomy of it?
Yeah, monthly was so with the ads, monthly works the best for like somewhere like LA. But with the other venues, it was kind of a touring. So we would go to other cities like once or twice a year. We would go to like all these like smaller venues like Fresno. We would go maybe 2-3 times a year. A place like San Francisco, we would do like maybe once a year. Vegas kind of we had some marketing issues in Vegas. Vegas is very competitive. We kind of tried to launch on a shoestring budget, and it didn't quite pan out the way we wanted to, but it was a great experience. We had a spot in Vegas. Like we had this apartment we rented in Vegas. We would go there Thursday, Friday. We would drive to LA Thursday, perform Thursday night, perform Friday night, leave Saturday morning, and then Airbnb our place when we weren't there. So it was like a real grind every week for like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, I have a couple friends that had to do similar things to that. Like they would get in, like a musician buddy of mine got like a residency in Vegas that required him to be there like a couple days a week, but he didn't want to lose his place in LA. So he did something wild, dude. Well, so how long did that run for then?
Freak Show as a whole, I think we had like a 6-7 year run, and I think we were really touring it for like 4 to 5 years of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vegas was like 6 months, I'd say. Thank God it ended, by the way, because we did it in 2019. If we carried that over to 2020, that would have been a fucking mess.
Oh, yeah.
Because we would have had that apartment in Vegas that we had to pay for, and it was completely shut down. Like that was like, it was kind of good that it didn't work out, because if it worked out, that would have been a kind of real pain in the ass.
Well, so what ended Freak Show then? Like, what was kind of the anatomy thing?
I think I was planning on 2020 being the last year for me, because it was kind of we grew it to a place where we could get it a solid on the road between 100 to 200 people to come out in our distinctive thing, and that's what it kind of was. I think if we were going to grow it further, it would cause like I didn't really know how I could grow it. I don't really know how we could grow it bigger, honestly. I didn't really have an answer to it. I think creatively for me, it had run its course. Like I personally had gotten everything I could get out of it. I think we had a good run. I like what we did with it. I think it was. And I didn't really know. For me, it was good. Like I have nothing but positive memories of it. I think Freak Show was great. It feels like a haze, honestly, especially between the pandemic breaking up. And it's like, was I on stage? It was like a guy who swallowed swords. Like this one guy would put like meat hooks through his nose and out his mouth. Did you ever perform when Aussie Blood was there?
No.
This guy put meat hooks through his nose and out his mouth. Like it was like wild stuff. He would like hang like he would have meat hooks on right here, and he would pick up like an 80-pound weight.
Oh my God.
Crazy stuff. And like in hindsight, I'm like, was I part of this? Like it was like it feels like something else. And 2020 was gonna be the last year for me. I think the Vegas thing burned me out a little bit, because it was all the money from our other shows were going to keep Vegas alive, and it was just a lot. I thought I was gonna have 2020 is gonna be a victory lap of just like we're gonna make good money. And then I was going to like end on a high note and move on to that. I think it was just creatively. It was 6 years of doing something. 6 years doing a project with someone in LA is like unheard of.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like it's like unheard of. That's like, it's like a lifetime. I mean, collaborations on creative projects last like months.
Right.
You do 2 episodes of a podcast and you guys hate each other afterwards. It's like, it's like unheard of to do something for this long. I think, and I just I didn't know how to take it to the next level personally. So I thought I was going to do one more year, and then I was going to figure out my next thing. And then the pandemic happened, so they kind of shut it down for us.
And that was just sort of like time to go.
Yeah, I mean, it ended it. Like, I mean, there was no real performance. I mean, there was no real performing for things until, 2021, 2022. 2022 is probably when things really started opening up again, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, and then, So, and at that point also, like, I kind of started, I felt like doing more web stuff was like my path. Like I started feeling like, web was like, I kind of started I feel like the key to me doing the next thing in life was going to be through web. So I think it was better for me to just put my energy into like my own web stuff.
And is that when you started really leaning into Instagram?
In 2019, I started, like, when TikTok came out, I had this thing. I was like, when TikTok first came out, I'm like, man, this is stupid. I'm not going to do this. Only idiots do this. And then I realized that's what I said about Facebook. That's what I said about Instagram. That's what I said about Twitter. And it was like, how did that work out for you, Cyrus? Like, saying this is stupid and not doing it. So I was like, this time maybe I'm going to try something different. Maybe I'm going to not try saying something is stupid. So I started with TikTok, and I 29 when I was Freak Show, I started doing more internet stuff, and it was starting to I was starting to get a little bit of momentum on it. But once Instagram Reels, I started posting the Reels is when I really took off on it. Because my TikTok, I'm very shadow banned on TikTok. And I try not to say that because it's kind of a cop-out. People say I'm shadow banned, but it's like you just make bad content.
Yeah, I mean, isn't everyone shadow banned on TikTok at this point? Like isn't it like, I know a lot of people just abandoned it. Like they were just like, I think TikTok's done.
Yeah, I mean, it's not done. Someone's doing well. I'm not doing well. But to me, it's like I record everything in TikTok, and everything I record on TikTok, I post to Instagram too. Mm-hmm. Minimum, this is bare minimum. I'm getting 20K on a video in Instagram, and that's a very bad video. It's like 10, 20K. Most of my videos are in like the 50K, 100K. I would say at least once or twice a month I do something that's like 100,000 to a million minimum. That's like normal on Instagram for me. On TikTok, it's like I'm lucky to break 1,000 views on a video. And like that level of disparity, I can't be like, well, that's a normal level of disparity. And I have 50,000 followers on TikTok. I have 100,000 on Instagram. So that, like, this doesn't make sense. Like if this was like, if it was like, maybe like I only get 5K on TikTok. Well, they just don't like me on TikTok as much. But like at this level of disparity is like clearly shadow banning. It doesn't make any sense.
So how did you start building up the Instagram then? Was it just?
I just started. I posted the Reels as an afterthought. I was like, well, I'm already making TikToks. I might as well just post it to Reels. So I just started posting to Reels as an afterthought. And then I had one reel break. I started noticing more momentum on my Reels. Like I was like, it was nothing at first, but then I had 1,000 followers and I had 2,000 followers. And around like 5,000 followers, I had one break and I went from like 5,000 to 30,000 followers in like the course of like a week. And then it kind of
was it one video or a series?
One video just ripped. One video ripped, and then afterwards, my other videos just started doing exponentially better.
What was the video that broke?
It was like a reaction video. It was like a really stupid video. It was like a reaction video, like some woman, like a woman, and was holding a hammer, and her husband scared her, and she almost like knocked him out with the hammer. And I was just like, yo, this video, this is like, this girl has good survival instincts. Normally, like this video is like the woman that cower in the corner. This girl was ready to just take the guy's head off. Like that's a girl you take to like to like the apocalypse. You know, like that's an Armageddon ready wife. That's what you want. Like, the video was so dumb. Like all the videos I almost don't post are the ones that do the best. So I think that was also like post pandemic. So that was more in the zeitgeist of being like Armageddon ready. But I guess that's still our zeitgeist, honestly. But that video really ripped. And then the next video that really ripped for me on Instagram was I did like a history joke. And people really liked it. And then since then, I've really kind of leaned into just doing history jokes, current event type of stuff. I always do a lot of history jokes. I've kind of developed this history joke niche that I hit pretty hard.
That's amazing, man. I mean, so it's just all been like just organic on Reels, building this empire. Yeah,
I'm really happy about it. Actually, like it's really like it's not like a major comic has really like been like, you know, follow this guy. No real collaborations that have like with like other. I've just worked with a couple people who are like kind of the same ballpark as me, but it's never been like, I collaborated with a guy who has 1 million followers, and he put me on. It was really just pounding the pavement. There's like a stat. I think it's like 194 weeks straight I posted on Instagram.
How do you pick which topics you want to do? Like every time you go to make a video, like what's kind of your process there?
Now I try to do 2 to 3 history videos a week. Well, I'll just pick something whatever I want. I'll find something interesting history. I'll do 2 or 3 of those a week. And other than that, it's like whatever's topical, whatever I want to talk about. I've always been I've been able to do it this consistently because I pretty much just do what I want. Like whatever topic I want to speak about, I do a mix of whatever's trending and whatever I'm interested in. Like where the intersection of that happens is what I make.
That's amazing, man. What advice do you have to somebody who's just starting out on Instagram or just hasn't figured out how to grow on it?
Just post. It's really a numbers game. I think one of the hardest things with social media, when you start and you're an artist in another field, every other field of art, it's really about perfection in a way. Like with stand-up, it's like you craft a joke forever, right? Mm-hmm. And you make it perfect and you you put on your special and then it's out. Like social media is not like that. It's a volume over perfection. You need to become like a content machine. You need to find a way that you can pump out a lot of content. You need to find a way to pump out a lot of content and you find it enjoyable. So either you make something very high quality and you chop it up, or you find something that's very easy. Like I do yelling in front of a green screen, right? I do like the green screen video yelling thing. So just find something that's easy that you can just pump a lot of it out. Ideally, you're doing both. Like you do a high quality thing that you chop up and you're doing something that you can just churn and burn and go through it. But something you're passionate about. Something that I'm bad about, that it helps you a lot, is if you just find a niche and you stick to it. Unfortunately, I don't really do that well. I think I could probably, if I just did history only, I could probably triple, quadruple my size. But just for my own sanity, I need to do both. But yeah, I think if you can find a niche and just stick to the niche, that's probably best. But if you can't do that, at least you find something you can do a lot and you can keep doing it forever. And always be open to changing and trying new stuff.
Where do you kind of find, if you have any, where do you kind of find your hope for the world at large?
Where do I find the hope? That's a good question. I do think all the problems in the world are double-edged swords, right? I do think like the internet is destroying everyone's minds, but it also is like a tool for liberation as well, right? Like, sure, it is giving us all brain rot, but it gives us all the ability to communicate with another. In theory, you could use it for well. Goodness is right. So I think there's a lot of chaos in established systems being taken down, right? But there's also a lot of opportunity that like maybe something better could be built in its place, right? I think like the current reveal of the Epstein files, right? That could not happen in a non-web based era. Like, I mean, that level of like scam, I don't think can survive in a world where anyone can speak and put information out there. Like it really, there was just a critical mass of so many people talking about this conspiracy theory that it made it been brought to light. So stuff like that gives me hope, even though the truth of it is horrible, right? The truth that it's like these people have been pulling the strings for a lot of people in power were under the thumb of someone who was manipulating them through blackmail is horrible. But the fact that truth comes to light also, there is an opportunity to replace it with something better. Whether it happens or not, who knows? Probably not. But at least there's an opportunity. So, and I do think like these machinations, like I don't think these machinations can last. I don't think you can really control as much as bleak as it seems and as successful as they've been. I don't think you can do this forever. I do think I don't think that level of control is sustainable. I think something will break and hopefully it gets replaced with something better.
Do you consider yourself a creatively satisfied person?
Yeah, I'm financially not satisfied. I would say, yeah.
Are any of us?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, there's things that I would like to make creatively that I haven't made. There's stuff stand-up wise I would like to do. So, I would say there's stuff I want to do creatively that I'm not doing for sure. But I have to look at my life that like I have a little bit of a following, right? I get to make what I want. No, I get to make people view it. One of the biggest turning points for me was like when I was posting, at some point people started saying my name in the comment section. I was like, oh, these guys like really know me. Like someone's tuning in for me. And this is also something like, this was not possible 15, 20 years ago. Maybe 10 years ago, kind of. It's 10, yes, for sure. But 20, 30 years ago, I could not have had this path. Like there's no way I could independently have a platform where 100,000 people follow me or are interested in my comment without being on television, without being on radio, without being in a movie. It was impossible. Like it was not doable. Maybe one or two people had that, but that was an extreme outlier. This is like somewhat normal. There's a lot of people in my situation, not a lot globally, but there's a significant amount of people in my shoes who have had no mainstream success and have, a six-figure plus following on a platform, which is unheard of. So I can sit here and be like, I'm unfulfilled. I want more. I think that's a bad mindset to have. So I would say I get to make the content I want. So I'd like to do more, but I'm pretty happy where I'm at. I'd like more of it. So I would say I'm fulfilled. I'm striving to do other things, but I would say I am kind of fulfilled where I'm at.
So where can people go to follow you? Plug away in closing.
I'm The Cyrus Show on all platforms. Also, Cyrus Naderpour. I'm like the only one on the internet. So you can just Google my whole name or The Cyrus Show on all the platforms.
Cyrus, thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
That was Cyrus Naderpour. Make sure you follow him on Instagram. His account is hilarious. Interesting time for this episode, considering I know I saw in the news recently you can now major in influencing. I think it's ASU or something like it. And I know, everyone's going to have mixed thoughts on that. Like, oh man, this is really dystopia coming full circle. But I don't know. I mean, obviously the cheaper option to majoring in influencing is just, having an account and doing it, which apparently that's what you need to do for the major. But you could say that about any creative endeavor. Like, oh, a better way to just become a professional musician is to just do it. A better way to just do theater is to just do it. Does that mean there's no merit in studying that stuff at university? Well, certainly I don't think so. I think there's plenty of merit to studying theater or music or screenwriting. I think there's plenty of merit in all that. So, yeah, I guess maybe influencer is just the newest chapter in all that. And it's hard to grapple with now, but it's the reality of the world we're living in. And who am I to say where artistic merit begins or ends? Like I don't have any badge to say that or not. Anyway, music for the 1000 podcast is provided by Andrew Sexton. I'll be sure to check out his podcast, the Baywatching Podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Please do leave us a 5-star review. Tell your friends. Make sure you subscribe, especially if you get the show on YouTube. If you want to support the show on the sustainability end, you can do so over at patreon.com/Ron Placone. For a Give What You Can level, we do all kinds of cool stuff. We got a great community over on Zoom. We do Zoom Hangouts. I do full shows on Zoom. You get full stand-up clips not available anywhere else. You get the 1,000 episodes before the release to the public, and that's all for a Give What You Can level. Come join a really fun community with a lot of cool, like-minded people. All right, 152. I don't have anything interesting to say about the number 152. I just think, by the way, if you're in Edinburgh, come say hello. And if you have something interesting about the number 152, let me know. All right. Peace.